to Donnie Jones Live. I am certified arborist, Donnie the Tree Lady, hanging out with.
I am that guy, Marty McFly.
You are Marty McFly, man.
What's going on with you, Miss Donnie?
Not much, just enjoying, this warm weather. People complaining that it's hot, and I'm like, dude, I was born in July, so this is good for me.
I was born in August, but I hate the heat. I hate it.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm saying
Oh my
I started
God, I love it.
sweating and all of my places get moist and everything. That ain't
You
good.
silly.
That ain't cool. I stay in the house. I stay
Oh my
inside.
God. Well, see, I can't stay in the house because, I'm in the tree care industry, and that's kind of, it kind of is part for the course.
And you wear long sleeves out there too, right?
I do. And the reason why I wear long sleeves is because when I'm out there and it's hot, it protects my skin. But the other thing is if I go into somebody's backyard that has like thorns or bushes or whatever, it protects me and I don't have to worry about anything.
Do you get ticks or anything like that?
No, I do. You know what? One time in my life, actually twice in my adulthood, I've gotten ticks. But you just take you take tweezers, you heat them up on the end, and then you grab the tick, and then once they feel the heat, they release off of your skin.
Once they feel the heat?
Yeah.
I thought you just grab that thing and yank it off.
No, because if you leave their head in there, I think that you can get sick. And we're just going to change subjects because I already see the look on your face.
I said, this is a Christian show.
You see me say Christmas.
Christian, yeah, I can't even say it right. But I've been doing great. I'm still trying to promote my little raggedy concert, service thing.
It is not raggedy. I told you to stop calling yourself raggedy.
No, it ain't raggedy, but that's how I'm trying to position it.
Right.
Because if I said it was classy church, people wouldn't come. But if I said it was a little raggedy thing holding the wall,
then they're going to come because they'll feel more comfortable.
We got communion in the beginning and at the end of church.
Well, you know what? I love what you're doing. You know why?
We're doing communion all through the service.
No, strong
too. We got Jiffy cornbread. That's that home stuff.
You got some greens, man.
Collard greens too. You dip the collard green and the bread, and then you take that strong cognac. Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hurt you.
Did he say cognac?
Exactly. We ready to go.
Communion with cognac.
But let's talk about our guest, okay? Because we have a guest this week that I'm really proud to have on our show. I really am. She's an amazing woman. I've known her for a few years, and she's a friend to Donnie Jones Live.
Yes.
And she's an inspirational woman. She's also an author. And she's out there kicking the doors down and allowing everybody into the church and changing lives. And I'm talking about the prophetess Cint Gilstrap. Yeah. We gotta get some.
Yes.
What do we got? Yeah.
And she was on the show the other week too.
She was.
I had to throw that little tidbit in, and she rocked the house that night.
Yes, she did.
I'm serious.
Amen.
She did so good. I went back to the accountant and had to give her some more money because I was like, she really worked. She did her thing.
So you went from $5 to $10. Okay, really? he rocked it out for you. But welcome, Cint. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm wonderful.
I tell you what, it's a blessing to have you on, and I see what you're doing, and you're moving and grooving and growing your ministry. What's going on with you now?
Just trying to be obedient to whatever God tell me to do. Yeah. There's no format how you do it. You just do what comes natural.
Yeah.
And this is what comes natural. So this is what I'm doing.
Well, I got to tell you, because I've heard you on your calls before. I've seen you on Facebook Live. I've actually seen you preach and stuff. But to be in the room while you're preaching, I was like, she blew my socks off.
She did. Wow. I was like, okay, as a pastor of my church, I was like, well, I can't bring her back here. They're going to start like, well, when she going to come back? Like, no, you can't preach here on a Sunday. No. And I know we shouldn't be like that, but she was really, really impressive. And I'm saying a lot of the people in the congregation came to me and was like, she really hit it on the nose, and just your message. And it's more than just your message. It's your passion that you have behind it too.
Wow.
That's what was like, okay, that just takes it a different elevate. Just elevates it a little bit more. Because you can have some preachers that are like, and God said, let there be light. And it's quiet,
like, that's
And then
like
some
that
people,
was.
right. And then some people can just be like, God said, let that be the light, and you can feel that passion and the energy,
absolutely.
And she was in it. And I will say, she had me kind of wondering one time because she was like, and see, I had to have a conversation with Donnie later on.
What?
Because I was like, because I'm saying sometimes and I know you've been in there too, you see somebody do a sermon or something like that, and later on you would say, did they say they saw an angel in the corner over there?
Yeah, you said you saw an angel.
Right.
Okay. Because I thought that was just a glare from one of the phones, but it was an angel.
Yeah, I really saw it in the spirit.
Because I just said, okay, we're going to have to, we might talk about that a little later. Because, she was just in it and it was just like, okay, There's an angel over there. There's a spirit. I'm getting there. I just want to make sure that the listeners that wasn't there know what was going on. So she was in the middle of her sermon, just really, really in, and she just kind of stopped and said, "There's an angel right over there,
That's
just floating."
Literally,
and she kept going, and everybody just kind of said, "Oh, okay." But so explain that kind of.
You know what? One thing I can say is that so often it's been told to me that to experience me live is completely different.
Yes.
They say that pictures of me live on like Facebook, you know, when you take pictures, it doesn't do justice.
Right.
But to see everything live, it just brings everything I don't know. People say they just take on a different perception. But actually, when I was going forward, I really did. In the spirit, I could literally see the fluttering of the wings in the spirit. Wow. So it was in the room, top left over, I think the curtain is green or blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I saw that image. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Does that happen to you a lot when you're in the flow and when you're doing what you start preaching?
It does, but sometimes it literally freaks people out. But at that moment, I was into it, and I
wasn't gonna question it.
I couldn't come out of it.
Right.
And I actually saw, the angel in the room, and that's not the first time. I've seen feathers left. You know, so it's something.
That only has happened to me probably one time. I was in California, and they gave me some loud, and I rolled that up, and when I was smoking it. It just I started seeing a whole lot of different stuff that was just butterflies.
Pastor, prophetess,
we're
gonna lay hands.
I'm gonna lay hands on him right now.
That's part of his past. That's part of his past.
Yeah, but hey,
it
opened up my mind, and I saw kind of different spirits and everything. Just saying. But I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what?
That is hilarious.
I ain't mad at you. You was there, huh?
I was there.
I ain't mad at you.
And it brings a lot of other brothers there, you know. But that's what I was saying, different kind of ministries to bring people there. You know,
we know your ministry now, man.
I'm just saying, you know, because she has a powerful following.
Yes,
you know,
she does.
Because when she does her phone stuff, and I not trying to make a joke or anything, but I do believe seeing you live. Is a different experience.
It is. It's totally different.
You know, because I have heard you on the prayer line and everything, and it's okay, that's cool.
But tell us how you got into ministry, Cint, because and the reason why I always kind of go back to this is because when people see a woman of God like you, and they see how powerful you are, they don't know your story, and they look at you and go, "I can't do that,"
right?
Or "I can't get there," or "Is God? How can God use me?" And I'm so messed up. Talk to us a little bit.
You know, I was actually talking about this today. And it's amazing because I said people always look at the book. They always look at the book, but they never open it to read it.
Oh,
you know, they look at me, you know, because in ministry, and it's sad, we deal with so much jealousy and competition.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the
I saw
bottom
you
line.
mention something else.
You know,
Facebook
that is so heartening that we have to deal with that, but we really do. But you look at a person outside and say, you know what, she dressed nice, she's a pretty girl, a pretty woman. You know, she don't need anything.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it takes for me to have to get dressed up.
Right.
You know, you don't understand how I need to beautify myself in order to encourage myself.
Yes.
Because I've dealt with low self-esteem. I dealt with, you know, suicidal thoughts. I dealt with depression, oppression. And if the truth be told, I still deal with depression.
Yeah.
I have to get up. I can't just
so
lay
good.
down. You know, I can't just lay down. I have to get up.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, that I understand that spirit still haunts me.
That's right.
And I cannot just lay in the bed and give up today.
Right.
If I give up today, that means that everybody connected to me, that God placed in my life, then that means that they defeated.
Right.
I cannot afford that. So dealing with, you know, molestation, dealing with rape, dealing with homelessness, dealing with, you know, having to the death of my mom, you know, dealing with all types of obstacles and challenges in my life, being a single parent. So all of these things just played an intricate part of I've got to change because if I don't, I'm going to die in this.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And the beauty of it is you didn't die in this.
Exactly.
But you're still, here, you know, I like talking about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
And being a pastor, you still are doing your own thing.
Absolutely.
And for me, when I go through stuff, and people don't understand that I go through stuff too.
Right.
And don't want to get out of bed.
Right.
But you've got to find a way to get out of bed.
You have to.
And to hear you be transparent and say, you know what, I still struggle sometimes with depression. What do you do on a daily basis whenever you do go through depression, what do you do to get to that next level and to wake up?
But one thing we have to consider for me is that I need God. I cannot have him. Yeah. The strength that it gives me, without having a higher power in my life.
Yes.
I have to have someone in my life that I'm dependent on to bring me through.
Yes.
And I knew that the transition for my life, only he could do this.
Yes.
I knew that I was headed to literally, my daughter saved my life. And I knew that.
And I need you to speak on, I want to talk about that when we get back, because a lot of people think that when challenges happen, that God is cursing you.
Oh, no.
But sometimes God is blessing you to be able to get to another day.
To get to another place in your life.
That's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
You know what? We got to hear more of this story on the other side of this break real quick.
Absolutely. We definitely want to hear more about this.
Because I got a couple of different questions to ask you.
I see it just came in your forehead.
You saw it on my forehead. I know I'm light skinned and it's kind of transparent sometimes. You can almost see the because it made me just think a couple of different things, but it's like, you know what? If somebody wants to get a part of your ministry, be a part of your prayer line, how can they reach out to you? How do they sign up?
Actually, you don't have to sign up. You just find me, Google me. I mean, I'm on Facebook,
and spell it so that people can know.
Absolutely. Cint Gilstrap, CINTGILSTRAP Ministries @gmail.com or Cint Gilstrap, the same thing, or .com, and that's my website.
So basically, if people get on Google and just put Cint, there you go.
Google me.
I love it.
Easy.
Right.
But
I wanted to get on the prayer line. Because that one is the hot one too.
Well, let's talk about that when we get back. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, hanging out with
Marty McFly,
and we will be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am Marty McFly, that guy.
Yes, you are. Yeah. And we have the opportunity, the wonderful, blessing of having Miss Cint Gilstrap, prophetess Cint Gilstrap here. And I'm telling you, we were getting into her story, but I didn't want to get too deep in our last segment because I didn't want to get cut off. But see, we can get cut off now. You were talking about your daughter and how it was a blessing that she came along.
Let me go back and then go forth, because we were actually talking about depression.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like to be transparent with their depression. A lot of people don't like to talk about oppression, suicidal thoughts, all these things.
Right.
But if we don't address these things, then how would they know that help actually exists?
That's right.
There are so many people in the confinements of church.
Yes.
I'm talking about the edifice, the structure of the building, that we don't deal with the real topics, issues. We don't want to address certain things, so people now walk around carrying this weight. I have so many people ask me, even from being molested, even from being raped, from being homeless, how do you maintain every day? And my question is not simple, but my question is, without God, I can't do it. It's impossible. I can't get up and dress myself and have one mind. Let's just talk about my mind.
Come on.
Just the mind alone. You don't have to focus on nothing else, because if he got my mind, you got everything.
That's right.
I'm talking about cuckoo and Cocoa Puffs. Seriously. But I need that. I need to have the experience of, I got to regulate my mind today. I have to renew my mind today, every day. Because if I don't, again, this spirit haunts me.
Wow.
To keep me down, to keep me defeated, to keep me in a place of self-esteem, low morals, not having the ability to get up with strength and stamina. So I have to hold that. But this, contrary to that, my daughter actually, after literally aborting a baby before, because I aborted a child. Because I felt like I wasn't ready. I was young. I was 17 years old. But then after she came, I had no choice. And I heard God tell me, and I wasn't even saved then, this baby gonna save your life.
Wow.
I had her, and there was so much oppositions against his side of the family, my side of the family, but I knew that I had to.
And see, I think that's a blessing that you're being transparent about that.
Absolutely.
Because there are women out here that have had to make that choice.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm being transparent. I don't know how you feel about that, but we had talked about abortion on our last show. And I personally, I feel like a woman should have the choice to do that. But at the same token, if you can choose life, I'd rather you choose life.
Right.
And bring that baby to life.
Right.
But I know there are circumstances that happen where, for whatever reason, people felt like that was their right choice. Can you speak to that about, as a pastor, how you feel about such a sensitive subject that is kind of popular in the media right now?
You know, going. Let me go back and then come forward, because the first thing is not knowing God, not understanding life and death, not having the knowledge, the wisdom, and all of those things to be able to comprehend what I know today.
Right.
I felt like I was irresponsible.
Okay.
It would have been a disservice to bring a life into the world.
Right.
And I knew that I was still a child.
Yes.
In college, I was 17 years old. Just turned 17. So in August, going into, back then,
Right.
I was 16 in college.
Wow.
I graduated at 16.
Oh
I
my
turned
gosh.
17 in December.
Right.
So I knew that I wasn't ready physically. I knew that I wasn't ready mentally, emotionally. I just was not ready. So I made the decision, and my mother at the time, she and I talked about it.
Right.
And she asked me, she said, what you want to do? It's your choice.
Right.
And I said, Mom, I'm not ready. She said, you've got to make the decision. But
Are you thankful that you had that choice? Or
I am thankful that I had the choice.
Or do you struggle with that being, a woman of God?
I don't struggle with that. But
Okay.
what I do struggle with is I got pregnant again and I
Okay.
aborted that child.
Okay.
But let me tell you why. I was saved at this time.
Right.
I was young in ministry, and I literally confided in one of the women in the church.
Right.
And I shared with them, I said, I'm pregnant. And their response was, to me, as a newcomer in church, I'm thinking I'm going, I'm finally
Right.
getting my life together.
Yeah.
I'm excited about church. You're going to be titled a Jezebel. I don't know what a Jezebel is.
Right.
I have no idea what is a Jezebel.
Right,
Why
right.
are you saying these things? There was no elaboration.
Right.
It was just that I don't think it's a good idea. She never told me yes or no. She said, I don't think that's a good idea. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be a Jezebel. People going to know.
Right.
In my immaturity.
Your decision was based on
exactly
what the ideology of what you would be being projected on you. Okay.
Exactly. And at 20-something years old,
Right.
and I've done everything I wanted to do that was wrong,
Right.
it just did not sound right.
Okay.
But instead of educating me to help me understand,
Right.
what are you saying to me?
Right.
I took it upon myself to do the same thing I've done before, is abort my child.
Wow.
That was tormenting. I
Right.
left the church because I did not understand,
Right.
and I went back to the world.
So she was pushing, even though she was in the church, she was pushing you to do it.
basically,
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to speak to that real quick. And the reason why I'm trying to speak up for women's rights and for women to have a right to choose, not like if that were to happen to me right now, I would choose to keep it because of where I'm at in my life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Because we know
it's not
different
a
now.
choice for right for me. But back then that would have been a proper choice for me. However, the thing that I struggle with right now, is I live in a community where people are fighting so hard against, the option to have it. But I've seen those same people, and I'm thinking of two people off the top of my head, and I can't name names out of privacy.
Right.
Off the top of my head, their daughter got pregnant by somebody that they did not deem worthy to be with their daughter. It was a young, girl at a private school, high-end private school, got pregnant by a black man. They sent this girl away to have an abortion, even though they are anti-abortion. They sent their daughter away to go have one so that she wouldn't have a child by a black man because it would bring shame on the family. With that said, the family is now staunch into supporting other women not having the right to choose, but yet they chose this for their daughter. And the other one is the same situation.
Right.
She had a bunch of scholarships, was ready to go off to college, made a bad choice
Happens
over the
every day.
summer.
Happens every day.
And, this family who's totally against this for everybody else used that choice for their daughter. And people know about it. Right here in that community, people know, but it's like it's swept up under the rug.
Absolutely, because they're thinking about how society looks at it. They're not thinking about they're thinking about the embarrassment it brings to their family, the shame that it brings to their name. They're not thinking about the child. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure that we're covered in every area of our life. But then it's the same token. Listen to this. What about if someone in the family were the one that molested the child and got the child pregnant?
In the second situation, I personally believe that's what happened. But once again, I don't want to harp on that. But in the second situation, that's what I believe happened.
Absolutely.
I absolutely, unequivocally, without a doubt, believe that's what happened.
Absolutely.
And I can't.
I mean, in a situation like that or a scenario, how do we deem it?
Right.
If that child were to carry this baby, would she hate the baby? You know, would she abandon the baby? Would she give the baby up for adoption? Or is it right for her to say
to people to say, well, God,
the baby?
What do you say to people to say, well, you know, if she has it, God will bless her to figure out a way to make everything all right.
Every choice is different. Everybody is different. We can't say what God will and will not do. Just like the same thing with suicide. You don't know really if God gave that person or if he didn't, because you don't know the state of mind that person was in.
Wow.
You just going based on what tradition have told you. But literally, if you not with that individual or you don't have the relationship that they have with God, you don't know what God has told them.
Well, you know, my uncle was diagnosed with liver disease, and what do they call it when you drink too much? For cirrhosis of the liver. And he got to a point where he didn't want to live anymore, and we were so afraid he was going to do something to himself. But we had family members that were like, if you do something to yourself, you're going straight to hell. And I'm like, this dude is in hell right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I didn't want him to do anything. Not luckily, but he did wind up passing. But he would tell people, I don't want to live. I don't want to live like this anymore. I just want to go die. I want to, I want
But see, then again, you got to think about what's God's will for that person.
Yeah.
You can, when my mom was getting ready to die, God told me to stop praying. That was the hardest thing I had to do.
Oh my gosh.
He told me stop praying because she willed it.
Yeah.
She willed it.
Yeah.
She said, no, I don't want to go through no more pain. I don't want to go through any more sickness. I don't want my grandkids to live to see me in this condition. She said, I don't want to do it. She said, stop praying. She told me, but God told me first.
Wow.
And you cannot go against an individual's will.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Once they will it, that's it. You can't do anything. That's that person's right.
Wow.
Literally, that's their voice to speak.
Absolutely. Real quick, tell us about your book. And guys, by the way, we're talking to Prophetess Cint Gilstrap. She's an amazing woman of God. She's out there kicking the doors down and opening up her heart and her church and her ministry to people that are lost. You know, maybe not so much physically in a building, but going out there preaching the word in a way to where people can feel touched and led by God. And I think that is a beautiful thing. How do people get in contact with you again?
You can Google me, Cint Gilstrap. I'm there. You can go to my website, cintgilstrapministries.com. Also, Testament Tuesday, every Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
Pastor Marty, love it.
Testament Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're on my conference call line. So, yeah, you can find us there, as well as now I'm doing a fill-up station every Wednesday live, Facebook Live at 9, from 9 to 10 p.m. So my book is Stolen, The Shattered Years of My Childhood, and that's in regards to my me dealing with molestation. Okay. And then now I'm writing a book, Wounded at the Altar, and dealing with the focuses of church hurt. And that's really deep because we have we have a lot of young women that come in church. Right. That now becomes the PERY. Yeah. And we have people in powerful positions that prey on these individuals by coming behind the scene. So that's what the book is about, and I'm very excited about.
We're excited to hear more.
It ain't no stories about me in there. I just want to make sure.
Not one.
Okay. Just want to make sure we clear on that. You know, we cool.
Definitely.
Leave my name.
Leave it out. Leave it out. Don't say nothing.
I don't know, Cint. I think he want his name in there somehow.
But the good side of it, the good thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The good
you know, you're not
I was
praying
a good
on
pastor. No, I ain't praying on no.
Yeah,
I pray
just saying.
with them, but I pray on them.
There you go. You guys, this is Donnie Jones Live. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am Marty McFly.
And we're going to hear more from you on this next segment, aren't we, Marty?
Sure, why not?
Okay, we'll be right back, y'all. Hey, you're listening to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly.
And we are here with the awesome Cint Gilstrap. She's bringing heat today, boy.
She's bringing that fire.
But she brings heats every day.
All the time.
She do.
So let me ask you a question. You know, everybody has different ways that they formulate their sermons and stuff. What is a setup, or what is how do you get set up for your sermons? Is there any kind of formula that you use?
You know what? I be trying to be super spiritual.
Oh,
I'm a fast for like 14 days and lay on
whatever.
my face and
Right,
get
right.
on the threshing floor. You know, I want to be deep.
Right.
God take me through a trial. He takes me through a trial and say, now preach about it.
Wow.
Literally.
Yeah.
The majority of the time when I'm preparing to preach,
Yeah.
and this sounds so crazy, but he don't do me like he do everybody else.
Right,
Literally, I go through something and I experience something, and literally, if I'm writing it down, he'll change it as soon as I get in the pulpit. He said, now preach to my people what I give you. Literally. So a lot of times I'm going just from the spirit, and that's how he allows me to operate. And it's so amazing, you know, that he does me like that, because I really be trying to be deep.
Right.
But it does not work. Like, it
But
don't
you know,
work
it's
for
funny
me.
you
Like,
say that, because
seriously.
I'm writing a book called It's Not That Deep.
Like, seriously.
It really isn't that deep. You
Like,
know what I
it
mean?
really not.
You know?
Like, it's really not. And a lot of people, a lot of times they ask me the same question,
Right.
but I can't give you a deep
Right.
answer, because God don't deal with me the way he deal with everybody else.
But here's the thing, though. I kind of believe what you're saying in a way that's even bigger than that. I don't believe that God is as deep as people try to act like he is. He's right there. He's closer than a brother. You know what I mean? He's like right all up in your grill, and you don't have to go find him someplace.
Right.
And the thing about your
Exactly.
ministry is you open that up for people, that they don't have to be so deep to get to God.
But you know, what's funny is like sometimes we'll try to get so deep and we can achieve that.
We miss
and
it.
then
We miss
none of the
it.
people in the congregation can.
They be like, what?
Y'all was so deep. It's like, huh?
Right.
What kind
Yeah.
of wood y'all been using?
Right.
You know?
Right, absolutely.
And it's like, oh, y'all need the simple version of it.
Yeah.
You know, when I move, you move.
Just like
that.
that.
You know, that's the simplest.
But that's true.
And they can catch that. I'm
Yeah.
saying I heard that the other Sunday. and
That's what I was gonna tell you.
My whole
Repeat that.
congregation. Yeah, I was telling the last show. I was explaining a situation with me and God, in a sense, where I was in the bed and I couldn't get up. You
Right.
know, and you know, in a sense, a ludicrous song came on in my head, saying,
Right.
"Stand up." You know, you move. You know, when I move, you move, just like that. And when I started saying that in the service, the whole congregation was saying,
They were
just
involved
like that.
They were
Yeah.
involved.
Just
and
like
they,
that.
and they connected more. But now, if I wanted to go deep, like how this chapter goes with this chapter, and how
Right.
the Old Testament, when they lifted up the serpent
Watch
in the
this,
Old
watch
Testament,
this. Yeah.
you know, it meant about them
Yeah.
lifting up Jesus in the New Testament, and it goes over their head.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's a really great Bible study that I get nothing out of.
You know, a lot of people want ministry now
Right.
that literally compares to their life. How
Right.
can I see
Right.
myself in what you're saying?
Right.
What is
Yes.
the comparison?
How can I apply that?
How can I apply it? We are in a different generation and
Yeah.
era.
That's-
You were
You know-
you were bringing up young people, and I want you
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about how you were saying now young people are looking for the truth right now.
And they are.
Yeah.
They are. Believe it or not, a lot of our young people hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being super spiritual don't work for them. Come down to my level.
Right.
And a lot of the young people around me, they say, Apostle, we like you because you're not judgmental. You don't judge us.
Right.
I don't care what they've been through. And, you know, to be extremely transparent, if they're dealing with lesbianism, if they're dealing with molestation, if they're dealing with homosexuality in any type of way,
Right.
I'm not here to judge you.
Right.
I'm here to assist you in whatever way or capacity
Right.
that I can.
Right.
To help you get through these things.
Right.
And that's what they look for. How can I apply what
Right.
you're teaching me
Right.
to my current situation?
Right.
A
Right.
lot of my women that I deal with on a day-to-day basis have mommy issues.
Yeah.
You know, how do you help me get through my mommy issue?
Right.
You know, what are you saying? And they don't want to hear no thuses and thous and this
No.
and
Thou's so
that.
Well, you know what?
You
This-
can't
yeah.
just
You
know, be
can't.
Moses and boom, the
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
writing on the pillar and the stone.
you know-
no,
Yeah.
you want reality.
Yeah.
And if I could just throw this in, when they can see you as a real person.
Exactly.
And not one of those holier than thou, like
Yes.
you're saying, you know?
Yes.
Because it's like, for me, I connect more with young millennials or younger individuals, especially if I'm sitting there and I pull out a beer or if I
Right.
cuss. You know, and that's not something I'm
Right.
I'm not using that as my first foot.
That's
going
not your
in.
crutch.
You know,
Right.
that's not
But
my
you
crutch.
naturally,
But then,
you'll have a beer once in a while.
Right.
You'll.
but that opens them up to
Right.
say, you know what? You're a real person. I
Yeah.
can talk to you. I can
Right.
share with you. And I don't mind coming to your ministry or
Right.
kind of being a part because you're not fake in a
Right.
sense. you know,
Absolutely.
and you someone that I can touch. And I'm like, okay, I can, because when I was growing up, hearing those, you know, those bishops that, oh, son, have you found Jesus yet? Are you saved? And you're thinking that, if anything, that intimidates me. And
it's
like,
intimidating and it's a turnoff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you really saving souls if people can't relate to you? You know, and to me, there's nothing unique in the human experience. But when you set yourself on a pedestal that you're like above and beyond the people that you're serving, how are you going to affect change if those people can't relate to you?
You can't.
You know?
You can't.
And that's when you talk, going back to your book, your transparency in your book and the one that you're writing right now is so inspirational, you know, and I think that's why you have so many millennials following you.
You know, one thing, I take a lot of advice from them because they teach you what we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's that gap, that the bridge that we really need, that bridge of knowledge and understanding in order to tap into their era, in order to bring them closer to God.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
And the other thing is they
share
see through stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you go through, if you they gonna see it. You know, and then if they don't see it, they Google enough stuff, they'll be like, oh, no, I'm good.
All the time. All the time. And they'll show me, they'll be like, here, see Apostle.
Exactly.
Like all the time. Like my spiritual daughters are so open with me. Like they have all kind of female issues and they be like, well, what is this? I'm like, I'm not sure.
But I love that. I literally had somebody ask me about a cyst in a sensitive area and they showed me a picture. I was like, dude, that's too much. No, I'm good.
Like,
you know, you can just describe it to me. You know?
Seriously.
Well,
but here's the beautiful thing. They're so comfortable talking about it.
They so comfortable.
I even get it from my girls. Like, I've always been kind of open with my girls. You can come talk to me or whatever. But if something's going on, they'll be like, so mommy, such and such and such and such, and then what happened to such? I'm like, can we kind of... You know, so, but I love that though, to be that comfortable.
Yep.
And I think that's how ministry should be.
Yeah.
I mean, that don't mean we get up on stage at church and be, too super.
Right. Well, you know, it's been told to me so often, you know, I'm too radical. I'm too transparent.
But I bet you that's the old folks telling you that.
I need to come down in order to be connected to certain organizations. Then I can't say
those
certain
organizations
things.
are dying.
You know,
I'm just saying.
so
I'm
you know,
just
like
saying.
seriously, I have had people tell me these things. Like, you know, you too radical. Like you cannot preach and act.
Jesus was radical.
Wait, that's what I was about to say. Jesus is radical.
Seriously.
And then at the same time, I think preaching now is shifting from the old time. That it's,
and I love it.
And I hate to say it like this, but it's really, for me, truthful. You got to be a little bit entertaining.
You have to.
You got to be entertaining
in order to capture people's attention. And
but I'm not talking about
it. Absolutely.
I joked about it. I'm not talking about Bible theatrics where it's just him and Han.
Right.
I'm talking about entertaining to the point where you're getting your point across. You're speaking the word into them, but you're not just doing theatrics with your voice, or the music isn't just coming in at a certain moment to make them feel a certain way.
Let me tell you,
not that.
I would say sometimes all of that plays a part. You know, the music plays a part. You know, now in my church, we're not going to do shouting music. You know, just because of my culture in my church. But it is a thing where
I don't know. She was there.
I know that's why I'm doing a different kind of service for people like for her. But
there they go. The people like you.
Yeah, for people like you, right? You got to identify those kind of Christians, the ones that like to really let their hair go. But no. But see, that's in a sense where they're getting away from sometimes.
Right.
That I do want to get back to. You know, and in certain, how they say, corporate church, they don't do that. You know, they don't have the testimony service no more on Sunday morning.
Right.
You know, but it is a little bit more structured.
Right.
You know, but I really want, back in the old days when they had the revivals and you could just be you.
Right.
You know, you get up there, you can sing a song however you want to sing it. It could be slow, fast.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to get back to, because I love testimony. Like when my grandmother's church, she was Methodist, but and before service started, actually no, after service, you get the songs and everything, and people would talk about what God had done for them in their life. People would be talking about God got rid of that toe fungus I was dealing with, or
and
God,
my hemorrhoids, they busted last night. Thank the Lord.
No, I mean, you don't want to be, but I'm just saying, God can't just be working in the pastor's life. Right. It's good to hear the people talk about what God has done in their life.
And I tell people all the time, if you connected to me, I don't want to just leave you. Right. I want you to move with me because as I grow, you should be growing too. Anything, if I'm alive and I have things connected to me dead, then that means that my tree's not bearing fruit. I need each one of you to be productive because guess what? If you're productive, then that means you're sowing back into my life. I need to hear the testimonies. That's encouraging to me to let me know that I'm not doing a false work.
That's right.
That my labor is not in vain.
That's right.
That I'm being obedient to what God instructed me to do. Tell me what a word that I've spoke to your spirit that brought you through and brought you out or made you get up and want to move forward with your life.
Absolutely.
That's encouraging.
It's very encouraging. Well, that's encouraging to me and you're encouraging to me. And I also want to mention that one of the things I've noticed on social media, and we'll talk about this when we get back, is you've also been focusing on entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
So I really want to talk about that when we get back. Once again, guys, we're here sitting here hanging out with Cint Gilstrap, Prophetess Cint Gilstrap.
Yes.
I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am Marty McFly.
And we will be right back. Hey, welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly.
And we are here with Cint Gilstrap.
Yes.
What the heck? I just jacked your name up.
Gil. You know what? She did a show. She did that event in my church, and I was messing it all up. The whole
Cint Gilstrap. I know, but I know it because we Chris.
I said Gilchrist, Cynthia.
Oh my God, I was so mad at you that night. I'm like,
I know.
How could you jack her name up?
I'm trying to do better. I am really trying to do better with names because a lot of times
Do you know my name?
I know your first name.
How do you spell Donnie?
Look, don't be putting me on the spot, especially with spelling and stuff.
Look at the sign.
I can cheat, right? It's D-O-N. And look back again.
Oh my gosh. But before we went to break, I wanted to talk about entrepreneurship. Because that's my sweet spot is entrepreneurship.
Right.
And it's important that people are self-sufficient and follow their dreams and pursue their dreams.
Absolutely.
Why was that important that you started incorporating that in your ministry?
Because I have so many people that live in poverty. And a lot of people live in poverty based on their condition.
Yeah.
They're based on their environment. And God didn't call us to poverty.
No, he didn't.
We've got to learn how to actually transform our mindset in order to be achievers for ourselves.
Right.
A lot of time people feel like even if you're making a six-digit salary now, then that's enough. That's not enough.
It's not.
No, he called you to be the lender and not the borrower.
Right.
Above and never again beneath.
Well, you know, in the city we're in, people do that.
Yeah.
They look a certain way, but they still broke.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to literally, we literally need to transition and transform people to the point where you become what you look like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know how to do that. I told a person, I was taught, listen to this, I was taught how to survive, but I wasn't taught how to live. And the difference is I knew how, even if I had to struggle to rob Peter to pay Paul, I knew how to do that.
You knew how to do that, right.
But in order to save and put money away and how to manage and how to budget, I wasn't taught that.
We were just talking about that at our last show, that entrepreneurs, but it's not just entrepreneurs, people in general have got to learn how to save, how to invest, how to manage their money. These are all things that, and here's the other thing, we weren't taught those things. My dad was an entrepreneur and I was never taught those things. My dad would have a pocket full of money. And then spend it. Then he'd go get some more money and spend it. As long as he had a knot in his pocket wrapped in a rubber band, he good.
Right.
You know,
and we wasn't taught.
We just weren't taught.
But see, now I'm strategizing a plan now. So I'm training women, and not just women, but men as well, how to take your pain and turn it into profit. And that's what I'm now doing, because I need you literally to embrace who you are with a 12-step process and take what you have learned and transform it into a profitable situation for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need to learn. And first, it all starts in the mind. It starts in your mind, and then with confessing the things you've been through, because you don't have to be the product of your environment. So I'm excited about it and what God is doing. So definitely.
Well, what are some key things that people can start doing, like some action steps that people can start doing right now to step into that?
The first thing is pull your credit report.
Okay.
The second thing is make a decision to want to change.
Okay.
And the third thing is, for me, identify the pain that has kept you bound.
Okay.
And those are 3 major components. And once you do that, you can move forward. Another thing is you have to learn how to literally strategize a plan for your life.
Right.
And we have now so many life coaches that's in place, but at the end of the day, you really don't need a life coach to tell you about you.
Well, I've also learned that a lot of these life coaches that they ain't even got their own life together. So you got to be careful who you're talking to and who you're listening to. That's a life coach.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
Because they still can't even balance their own checkbook. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's true, because now a lot of life coaches are. It's another.
But don't. Wait. Time out.
It's the next hottest thing. You know what I'm saying?
Really
and if it's the next hottest thing, then people do what's hot.
That's
so
right.
now life coaching is, I'm gonna be a certified life coach, and it sounds deep in the world.
Right.
Just like now everybody's doing honorary doctorate.
What is that?
You have musicians and entertainers and celebrities now doing it.
Right.
See, I just gotta pull something back real quick. Just one of them things. You know, you don't always. The messenger might not be the best person, but it's the message that comes through. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yes and no.
And I'm just being honest, because sometimes you can have a wino or crackhead or someone that's really out there, and say the bridge is out.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Now you can say, "Now look at him. He ain't doing right. He ain't living right. So I'm gonna just keep going on down this road,
right?
And you can run off that bridge." All I'm just saying is, sometimes people can be a life coach, because some people can tell you need to make sure you pay your bills on the 1st and the 15th. Pull your credit score. Now, I might not have done it, but I can tell you, I know what the smartest thing to do.
But I even talk about myself, all the stupid stuff and mistakes that I've made, but trying to jump on the other side of that. You know, I don't think I would be somebody, like I can give some advice for growing my business and stepping out of certain situations. You know what I mean? But I don't think I should be putting a certification behind my name.
No.
You know what I mean?
I can put a certification behind my name.
I can give advice, and I feel like I can build a platform that can help people. But there's literally people out there right now that are certified life coaches, but they haven't even lived any life.
Right.
Or they haven't even...
I'm a
life coach for the school. Listen, I'm a life coach for School of the Hard Knocks. Like, seriously.
You're a life coach for Hard Knocks?
But you can articulate it.
Absolutely.
But you can articulate it, you know? And I just, you got me thinking about that person.
No, we have a certified life coach that comes on our show every once in a while. You know, it helps us out. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it, because they listen sometimes. And it's like, I just thought about it. You ain't certified on helping nobody.
Oh my God.
But I mean, I'm certified to be a life coach, but at the end of the day,
I do not condone that message.
You know what I'm
just
saying? I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to
change directions. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, you know, sometimes it's the message. I'm saying, I look at myself
and I get that.
And I judge myself the hardest, because it's like this.
Absolutely.
I'm not perfect, and I know I got a lot of flaws.
None of us are. None of us are.
When I'm in a pulpit, it's like these are not really my words.
Right.
These are the words that are coming to me that He's provided for me, and I've done my study. I'm giving you this, but if you see me walk crooked tomorrow, I don't want that to be judged on my words.
Right,
you know,
right.
Whatever I'm saying right now to you, don't look at me if you see me run a red light tomorrow.
Okay, I know where you're going with this, and I agree, but here's the problem that I'm having with a lot of higher profile people. I think on a day-to-day basis, you're 100% right. But you've got people that are doing marriage conferences that are on their third marriage.
Okay, well, you've got people experience. You know, if I know I shouldn't talk to her like this the first time, so that didn't work out. That's experience, you know. So you would
got
be a
people
marriage
that are having emotional relationships, whatever the heck that means, and they're preaching about the sanctity of marriage, but they're having a relationship with some other woman, and they all over the media and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to honor them and give these people, you know, praise and everything, because they have good ministries. But at the same token, I think that there's certain areas that to stay out of. Like, I would not be doing a weight loss show right now, because
why not?
You know what I'm saying? I've lost some weight, but I got a long way to go. So that's what I mean.
I understand
when I get back into
I understand what Maria's saying too, because in order to be a voice of reason, just like my sister and brother, I can tell them the same thing, but a stranger come and tell them the exact same thing. They'd be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
I'd be so angry when they do that. And I was like, I just told you that. So
Right.
why didn't you hear me? But they have a deaf ear to it.
Right.
So a new voice sometimes change that person's mind or heart or condition or the way they even view things. So I understand what he's saying, but the same token, I understand what you're saying too.
Yeah.
So
it's like don't be that image of everything is right, telling us, that you can. Here's how to have a perfect marriage when your marriage is all
jacked up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all.
That's all.
Yeah, and I understand, but it makes perfectly good sense, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you gonna be my life coach as far as marriage, tell me you've been married 60 years, 50 years, 30 years, 20 years.
That's my point.
But here's the
But
thing.
then I hear you too.
And here's the thing,
experience is the greatest teacher.
Like I had a situation with a minister that went into the prison system, and he wanted to talk to these guys about being addicted to stuff. And they're like, brother, you ain't been addicted to anything.
Yeah.
How can you tell me how to be
back to the millennium mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
And he had to say, well, I was addicted to donuts, with Krispy Kreme when I was in college. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
You can't tell me anything.
Right.
You can't tell me anything.
If you haven't walked through these,
you haven't walked the walk, but you have walked the walk.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about what you're doing. What's next for you, Cint?
Yeah.
Let me see. I will be traveling this year. I'm working on a play. Actually, I'm working on writing 2 books. I'm going to try to bring out 2 books this year. So I'm going to do Wounded at the Altar, and I'm going to do Stolen Part 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna end that one in part 2.
Now, are you trying to get a church building or a church congregation and all?
I keep running away from it. But actually, I think I'm gonna call it.
Listen to God.
Headquarters. I was trying to fix it.
I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I need a headquarters. So that's what I'm focusing on. A location where, if we desire to gather, we'll gather at the headquarters. So that's what I have. But to call it a church, to call it a ministry, I don't want to do that, because I don't want people to feel like they cannot be a part of what God had. First of all, Jesus came to save the sinner. So while we have more church folks that's been in church forever at the altar
literally
all the
just said
time, we have a revival for the church people. No, I'm trying to have revival for the sinner. Right.
But that's why I said you're kicking the doors down.
Right.
You're actually kicking the doors down. You're going through the doors and you're going outside and meeting the people where they're at.
I love it. We just fed the homeless a couple of weeks ago. It was amazing. Actually, I didn't make it because I had surgery, but my team still went out there, and we fed over 250.
Wow.
So I'm so excited just to do my part.
You are doing your part. Once again, how can people get in contact with you?
Actually, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Cint Gilstrap Ministries. Prophet is Cint Gilstrap. I'm Cint Gilstrap _CGM. So you can definitely find me. Social media, Google me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, Testament Tuesday, every Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. I am on 8:30, 404-891-6566. Testaments Tuesday, every Wednesday, live Fuel Up Station on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, I love what you're doing. I love being here. I love being here with you too, Marty.
Yep.
And I ain't got nothing else to say. This was awesome.
Until next week, I love you. You're listening to Donnie Jones Live.
Yes. And I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I'm Marty McFly.
See ya.